Hey everybody, give me a second to get myself together here. Hey everybody, happy Friday. Hope everybody's doing good. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that I posted my last little gnome card today, and if you go to galfardystamping.com, I posted it as a mini class, so it's available for a mini class. Two options: one, you can get the make and takes with the stamp set and all the directions, a PDF, or you can just get the PDF and the video for the lighted card. So that's available now at galfardystamping.com. And for tonight, we're going to do a little different, something different. As you know, for every $50 you spend in July, Stampin' Up! Is going to email you a coupon for $5 that you can spend in August. And as I'm sure everyone knows by now, the new mini catalog, and I don't have mine handy, will be available August 4th. And if you would like one, just send me a message and I'd be glad to send it to you. But for every $50 you spend, you'll get a $5 coupon from Stampin' Up! And if you use this host code after tonight's video, you'll also, from me, as a gift from me, have a choice of getting for free from me as a gift for saying, as a thank you, either a pack of the Elegant Faceted Gems, a jar of the gold stamping emboss powder, or the Tasteful Texture embossing folder that I'm going to be using for tonight's card. So like I said, spend $50 and you'll get a choice of one of those three gifts, plus a $5 coupon to spend in August from Stampin' Up! So for tonight, I couldn't think of anything to do with my... Hi Lottie, how are you? With the gnomes this week, and plus, since I was offering it as a class, I decided to go back and revisit the Tasteful Touches, where I had done a whole week of using this floral stamp, and this was one of the cards. And I had quite a few messages sent to me that everyone wanted to know how to make this card. I'm going to change it up a little bit tonight so the flowers are a little bit bolder, but this is the card we're going to be making tonight, and it's the Tasteful Touches I used for, can't really see it on the card itself, but I did use the Tasteful Touches on this piece. That's this here. And then we're just going to do a little embossing. So I did find that this is the masking tape that I'll be using tonight, because we're going to mask. And what I actually do, this is an old piece of scrap paper. Excuse me. I take a piece of the mask paper. As you can see, it's got one sticky side. Got a piece of cat hair. And I stamp the image that I want to mask. And you don't have to, it doesn't have to be that dark, because what you're going to do is you're going to cut this flower out. And I already did. I actually did 2 of them tonight. I have to peel the paper off. But what I use comes in a roll just like this, and it is called Eclipse Art Masking Tape, and I did get it from Amazon. Thanks, Lottie. I really appreciate it. Oops, hit my camera. So that's what I use. We're just going to put this aside. Let's just see if I can't get this paper off really quick before we get started. I did one, I didn't do the second one, and I should have. Oh, there it goes. So I'm just pulling off my scrap paper. That's what it is. Just going to stick it up there. And I already did this other one, so it shouldn't be too bad. And there we go. And it's off. Okay, so we're going to start out. I'm going to get the card base together. It's the normal card base, 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. And then this is the Night of Navy. Then I'm going to put on a layer of the Misty Moonlight, and that is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then I have another piece. 1, 2, 3. Let me just check and make sure I did that right. I lied. Night of Navy goes first. And that's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. There it is. So it's, wow, did I cut this wrong? No, I didn't. 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Maybe I cut this one wrong. This is the one I cut wrong. This should be 5 1/2. Give me 1 second. You know, it happened, I wasn't sure what I was going to do tonight, and then I did everything last minute, and I cut my card wrong. No wonder it didn't fit. Okay, so let's start that over. Basic card, but base. Scored it 4 1/4. Next layer is the Misty Moonlight, which is my new favorite color, and that is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Hey, Julie, thank you. Hi, Margaret. How you doing? Yep, had a great day today. And then we're going to do a layer of the Night of Navy. And this one I actually cut at 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And then the Whisper White is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. And this is what we're going to be stamping on. So let's just put these layers together, and just for a quick, and I don't want to keep rambling on, but I've had some people asking me about the new seal, stamp and seal, and you know, it does get a little frustrating. I've heard from a few different people how frustrated they are with the new stamp and seal, and I have to be honest, I was too, because I think there's a learning curve to it. So, because it's hard to get that first start. But what you're going to do is, you're going to keep these at the bottom. And I'm going to hold this sideways so you can see. You're not going to run it. You have to run it at pretty much a good angle and to get it started. And then when you bring it down your paper, when you're going to stop, you have to clip it up so the seal ends right here on this roll. So when you go to start your next one, it's available. So you're going to flip it up. I mean, a real deep twist of your wrist. But once you get that motion done, your seal will always be ready for you at the end of your little roller. And I would suggest that you put your cap back on when you're finished, because it'll just preserve that little seal, so the next time you take it out to use, the seal will be available where it's supposed to be. Yep, it's a flick of the wrist. You're right, Lottie. And I know everybody is just so used to the regular the snail that it's a little bit of a learning curve, and it does get just a tiny bit frustrating. But after a little bit of use, it does get easier. So I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap paper, go back to our layer, because I do, when I layer this one on, I actually want to pop it up on the card. I didn't do it on this one, but I really want to pop it up. I think it'll make it look a little better. So what we're going to do, what I did to start this card, and I'll do it a little different tonight, each of these flowers, you can see I stamped them in the coordinating blends and then colored them in. And I just don't like that the flowers don't really pop as much as I want. So tonight we are going to try it in black. So I'm just going to take the stamp, and we're just going to start right here in the middle. Stamp our first flower. Nice and bold. Going to give it a minute to dry, and I'm going to color it in first. So this way, each and every petal for each flower, because once we start layering, the lines intersect. So this just makes it a little bit easier to see each individual flower. And I'll just do it quick so I don't keep you all here too long. I know at times this is the dark misty moonlight. Like I said, it's my new favorite color, at least this week. I'm sure next week it'll be a different color. I run in cycles, it seems. But we're just going to do this up really quick. And all I'm doing is going over all the dark lines. And you really can't tell because of the dark marker to the dark black. But that's the dark misty. And I use the nib part. I always use the nibs because it doesn't release the ink as quickly as the brush does. Excuse me. Well, I usually use the brush as a finishing coat if I want to highlight. So I'll just show you as a for instance. This is the light. So if I wanted to highlight this petal, I would color this color in, leave a little white spot, and then I go back to the brush and brush over the whole thing real quickly. And then you probably can't really tell, but as it dries, that little white spot is going to be lighter than the rest of the petal. So that's how I use them. So we're just going to quick color these in real quick, not being too fancy or fussy. Is this the misty moonlight? Yes, it is. I find the misty moonlight, I don't know, I'm gonna have to call, because I just find the light misty moonlight to be a completely different color than the dark misty moonlight, unless I picked up the wrong one. Nope, I didn't. Okay, so we're just going to quick color this in. I hope the weather's been good to everybody. It's been pretty hot here, and we've had rain just about every day, which is fine. Although the grass needs cutting, and I just can't get out there. If Nan, are you here? Are you here tonight? My friend Nan from Michigan is coming to visit me this week, so I'm really excited. Okay, so here is the mask that I stamped and cut out, and what we're going to do is we are just going to completely cover this flower and what we just colored, ink up our stamp again, make sure it's nice and inked, and then we're going to put another flower. And we'll put this one right here. Pull off the mask, and now we have our second flower. Let's do some purple posy. And I promise we'll get through this as quick as I can. Okay, so now again, this is, and both with the purple posy, both colors are fairly light, but they're pretty. And I come close to the flower I just did. I color it all, even though it's a lighter color. If I had more time, I would grab my indigo colored pencil, and I would go back in with the colored pencil and shade all these intersections a little darker. When I color here by myself, if I could show you, if I could switch the camera and show you all the coloring utensils I have right here sticking out of the drawer. I have all kinds of markers and pencils because I like to add some depth and dimension to everything. I've been putting together a class coloring with blends and adding all my little tips and tricks using pencils. So thank you, Nancy. I try. Okay, so now we're going to do the next flower. Now we're going to mask the first flower, and then we're going to mask the second flower, because we do not want to get any ink on those flowers we just colored. So we'll put this one, I think we'll face it this way, and then again, let's take off this mask because I want to show you. I don't know if I have. Get this up. Usually it doesn't stick this well. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we have the two masks off. Let me just grab one of my, this is an old Copic. I don't have any of the grays in the blends yet. But if you can see, right in this spot right here, this is a separation of the two flowers. So I'm just going to quick color that in completely, because that's going to be my background, because we don't want it to get confused with what we're coloring. So now I'm going to go to the magenta, something nice and bright, and we're just going to color this. We're going to go close to this flower because we want all the darkness. That's your shadows, and then just color in all this darkness. I know tonight's video is going to be long, and I really do appreciate it if you stick around. If not, I totally understand. I've been trying to keep them within a half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. I know how precious everybody's time is, and sometimes I can get just a bit carried away. So I just appreciate you all being here. Okay, so this was the Magenta Madness, and that was the dark. So now we're just going to go in with the light and fill in. If I was being real careful, you'll see me. I move my image back and forth. It is pretty funny watching. So we're just going to fill it this way. If I move it, I can see that line. Make sure I don't go outside the line. Try to be really careful. Okay. So I was just looking. I'm just going to grab my marker again. There's one spot and there's two spots that we're just going to color in right now. Okay, let's see. We're going to put one, let's put one right here. I'm going to cover up this blue one again. I guess I should leave it right on. I just don't want it to stick. And then we're going to cover up this pink one. Ink up our stamp. And let's put it right here. Upside down and everything. Pull off the mask. Just like that. I'm going to grab this marker. I'm just going to color in this background again. And actually, I think what I did was, after I colored in with the gray, I went over it again with the Misty Moonlight, just to give it a bit of blue to match the cardstock. Just gonna fill that in. Get this one here. But this is how you're gonna do it, right around the whole, across the whole card. Here's, I'm gonna get all this, because this is the dark, again, this marker is the So Saffron, and this is the dark, and the dark is very light. So we're just going to quick color in wherever the dark marks of the stamp are. You don't have to be fussy, like I said, but when we get close to these flowers, we're going to do it darker with the dark color, because that's where your shadow would be. And we'll do this and this so we can get moving a little quicker. So we're just going to go over this real quick, because this one too, where the color is light, it'll help it just. Okay, so let's jump over here, pour blue flower, and I think what I'll do, I think everybody really does. Thanks, Dew. And if everybody's wondering, Dew is my daughter, Emma. And I call her Dew because when she was born, her name I knew was going to be Emma, and her last name was Naratka. And I had filled out her birth certificate information, hi Peggy, and laid it on my table. And at that time you were in the hospital for about 3 days when you gave birth, instead of go in, have a baby, and they throw you out. And I had her application for her birth certificate on my table, and the nurse came in and said, are you done with this? And I quickly said yes, and she took it and went away. I had forgotten to add her middle name. So Emma, poor Emma, never had a middle name, and when she was little, I used to call her Emma Dew, and the name stuck. She's now married, and she was born in 1988, and I still call her Dew to this day. I do not call her Emma. And that's my story. Okay, so we're going to put this one here. Again, pull up our mask. They're starting to get, I just don't want to ruin it because they're getting just a little bit weak. Okay, now you'll notice right here, it looks like it would be an empty spot, but it's not. That's where the two stamps came together. So for this, let's do some Highland Heather, and we're going to get the dark one first. And this, I've been doing this for a half an hour. And then again, we're just going to fill in the dark. When I do the light, I'll use the brush end so it doesn't take me all night long. And then this is the light Highland Heather. And we're just going to brush over this quick. See, if I was smart, I could have had one already completed for you, and I could have jumped right back to the card. Okay. So this is what you would continue to do for this whole layer. Each time you want to mask, make sure you cover the flowers. Like I would do one here now. I would cover this one and cover this one, making sure you match it up, and then ink up and stamp. Pull off your mask. Like I said, they're getting pretty inky. And then just look to see, and again, this one looks like it ends. So you would fill in this little gapped area because that's your background. And then I covered it over with Misty Moonlight. And then just color that flower and go around the whole card. However much, however you wanted to do it. And you would just keep going all the way around. I would then go back and fill in the centers. Just like this. And you would do it for until you felt your card was completely finished. And actually, I do think the boldness of this one looks much nicer. I mean, I do like this card, but if I was to add more flowers and then color in the background, I wouldn't add anything here. I would add a flower here. I would add another flower here. So I would probably color this whole section in like this. And I'll finish this front tomorrow and post it so you can see, but I just don't want to hold everybody up. But I would definitely, let's open this other side. I would definitely color this. Fill this in. And it just gives the flowers that much more pop. And having a dark background. And you can actually do this with any image. Let's just color this one in. We're going to do this one in Rococo Rose. Oh. It's warm out in here tonight. I don't know if you can hear the fan going. It really is pretty easy, Peggy. It's just a matter of making sure you have your mask on right. And do it one step at a time, just like I've been doing here. Don't try to rush it. Okay, we're going to darken this here. Darken around this flower. It's just something that and that was the dark Rococo Rose. And then this is the light. And if you've been here before, you know not to overblend. There's alcohol in these markers. Once it dries, it changes the whole look completely. So remember that. You do not have to overblend. Just let the markers do their work, because they will. You could overwork them too much. See how I'm getting carried away now? We're going to put this one right here. And this is what you would do to the whole card. Just keep filling it in. Taking off your mask. And keep filling it in. Okay, we're going to grab this gray, because this whole bottom now is dead space. So we're going to fill it in with gray. Go back to the Misty Moonlight, give it a little bit of a blue hue. And then it looks like right here is a void space. I'm going to color that in. And let's go. I didn't do Bermuda Bay. Oops. In the other one. Let's see. Is this the Bermuda Bay? Yeah. Dark and light. We'll put this one in the corner here. I'm going to go around these flowers. And I know the Bermuda Bay sometimes looks a little green. I paired it with Pretty Peacock this week, and it looked green. It's a pretty color though. So I started making my cards for, we're going to stick with Christmas this week. And I started making my cards. I'm doing a mixture, I should say. Let's see, what is the Zoo Glue. That's what I picked out this week. Such a sweet set. And it actually goes with the Snow Globe Scene dies from last year's catalog. I think it's in this year's catalog too. But this little Zoo Globe is the sweetest set. So that's what I've been. Thank you, Sandy. You're so sweet. A lot of work? Yes, it is a lot of work. But you know what? If you love your craft, taking the time to create, I mean, be honest, when you're buying your craft supplies, your paper and your stamps and all of those things that we purchase, we invest a lot of money in our stamping supplies. Wouldn't you love to be able to send a piece of art that you put so much love and attention into? I mean, it just, that's what I enjoy, is sending something out that I've put a lot of myself and a lot of my love into. If I could, I know many of you know, I care for my husband. I do have him out walking, which is a great feat. He hasn't left his chair in 3 years, so I just started getting him walking. And we walk every single day. We started out small, and we've been doing really well every day. But I would be in this room all day long if I could. I just love it. So that's what you would continue to do. For this corner, I would probably put another blue flower, just a little bit of it peeking out, leaving some of the space and coloring it dark. And then this side, I would probably put another green flower. And then, I guess we could do it real quick. I hate to leave a card unfinished so you can see. We'll do this really quick. I probably should have another mask there. Let me see. I have one. Let's just use this. This is the paper that I had the mask on, and I'll just hold it. Let's just stamp this here. Just like that. And I hit my finger, so I came up on the stamp a little, but that's okay. Let's do the Bermuda. I'm going to color this because this is the flower underneath. Again, we're just going to color this quick. And I did get a little ink there that I'm not going to worry about because I'm going to color that background. You're not even going to see it. And I should say this is our Stampin' Up. Whoops, I went over that flower. Shoots. Where's my posy? I'm going to color this quick. Hopefully I can get rid of this green. It's our Whisper White. It holds the color really well. I always do put something underneath. This is not from seeping through. It's from me hitting the edge. But just in case, I would always put something underneath so it doesn't ruin the table underneath, because you just never know. If you're not using a nice thick cardstock, it could bleed. It does bleed through. I would hate for you to ruin your table. So we're just gonna color this quick. Go over it with the blue. And then we're just going to color this in real quick so we can finish this card. I would probably, if I was doing it and not trying to, I just don't want to hold everybody up, because I could stay in here and do this all night long, like I said. But I hate to take your time. I know how precious time is. So we're just going to fill this in quick. Use the broad end and color this quick. Just like that. And then we're just going to go over it with the Misty Moonlight. And although it looks very subtle, you can see that there is just a blue tint to it. Okay, so let's just grab some dimensionals and get this card going. Just gonna, that's not what I wanted to do. Shame on me. We're going to snail this down first, or seal it down. See what I did? I lost it. There it is. Now I got it on my finger. Just a little bit of a flick of the wrist. Little bit flick of the wrist. Okay, we're going to layer this on our Night of Navy, making sure it's even. And this is the one I want to pop up. I have the seal on my finger now. Okay, so let's pop this up. Now this set one is about 1/4 of an inch on each side smaller. So I'm going to just make sure I get this laid down properly. Yep, I'm going to do it this way. And I just noticed okay. Just going to color, miss that one. And I missed this one. And I missed this one. Okay. So then I use the dies, the Tasteful Label dies from the In Good Taste suite. And if I can see where it is, I cut out this die, ran it through the Big Shot with the Tasteful Texture embossing folder, and we're going to, I like the one side that really is bumpy, so we're going to put that side towards the outside of the card, and they both have nice texture, but one side's just a little bit rougher. So we're just going to take this. Is anybody excited about the new, what stamp set is this? It's the Tasteful Touches, Peggy, from the In Good Taste suite. The suite comes with the stamp set, these dies, which are really, really very pretty, and this embossing folder, which like I said, I just love the texture of this embossing folder. The paper is really a nice suite, and again, I do have my catalog here. Let's see. It's not in here. This is the right one. Alright, let's see. Tasteful Touches 124. See, it's from the In Good Taste suite. It actually does come with the different textured papers, woods, looks like linoleum, and then you can get the stamp set right here. But this is the Tasteful Touches bundle, which would be the stamp set and your dies, is $48.50. And then, like I said, it does have designer series paper. Okay, so I popped that up. Let me just get this stuff back in my drawer here. Clean this mess up. And I did cut out in Whisper White, and instead of doing the gold emboss, because it is really very hot in here, I am just going to stamp it, You're So Special, in the misty moonlight. Just so I make sure this is on here straight. And I'm going to stand up so I can see what I'm doing. Whoops. Okay. I got ink all over that stamp. Did you miss a flower coloring? No. This one is the Purple Posy. It looks like I didn't color it, but the Purple Posy is so light compared to the dark background and the dark stamping that it just doesn't look like I colored it. If I would have thought I could have done it in, you know, like Blackberry Bliss or one of those, but the Purple Posy is just such a light color. I could probably, if I went over it again, it may darken it a little bit. And I don't mind the questions at all, Peggy. but that's really what it is. And then I have the art light on top of it, so it's making it look as if it's not colored in compared to the rest of the flowers. So we're going to pop up our sentiment. I'm going to grab some ribbon. I'm just going to pull this close so I can get it on here even. It looks a little different. And then I pulled out my gilded gems. And we're just going to put the small ones, one on each side. Grab our Misty Moonlight, my favorite color, and we're going to do a quick bow. Pardon the ink on my fingers, but we're just going to wrap it around our fingers, hold on to these pieces, put it through your fingers, and then feed it through the bottom. Julie Gilson taught me this. Grab your little tail, and then we're going to tuck it into this loop that we just created in between our fingers and pull. And then get it off your fingers. Make sure our little loops are even. Okay. I don't know where my pokey tool went, so I'm going to use my X-Acto knife here. And just put a glue dot there. Straighten our tail. And then we're just going to cut this at an angle. And this at an angle. Get it a little poofy. And fluff it up a little bit. I did this on the last card too. I keep putting my bows so you can't see. Okay. Now for the inside, just very simple. I did it after taking so much time for the front of the card. I just have a layer of the Night of Navy, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and then a layer of, sorry, I'm cleaning off my stamp, Whisper White, 5 1/4 by 4, and all I'm going to do is take this stamp, and I just put my finger in it, and we're just going to stamp our flowers on the inside. Just like that. Get rid of that scrap paper. This time I'm going to grab my glue. Getting towards the end, so I just don't want to hold you up anymore. I tried. It just didn't work. A whole hour. I can't believe it. So as I'm putting this together, just want to remind you, July is bonus days at Stampin' Up. For every $50 Stampin' Up will send you a $5 coupon. if you place a $50 order with me by Monday, I will send you the paper so you can create this card on your own. I'll give you the 2 little gems, and I will give you the paper for the card, an envelope, everything you need paper-wise to create your card. I'll even send you the ribbon so you can tie your bow. And I will also give you a choice of a pack of faceted gems, the textured Tasteful Texture embossing folder, or a jar of the gold embossing powder. That would be my gift to you for shopping in my store. Okay, so we got a little gold here. I was going to always save these little ends, but my gosh, I would have a whole pile of them by now. Let's just straighten this out. Grab that glue again. Get some glue back here. Put this on the inside of our card and call it a night. And there you go. Just a little bit different in style. And there you go, have it. I hope you like them. Sorry I kept you so long. I honestly did try to keep you. Thanks, Margaret. I really did honestly try to get it under an hour, and I didn't. I'm very sorry. So have a great weekend. If you have any questions, if you need any help with anything, I'm always here. Send me a message. I'll be more than willing to help. Don't forget to check my blog for the known class to go, and I will see you next week. Have a great weekend. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.